Israeli police say they are searching for suspects after an incident at a mosque near the village of Al-Minya, close to Bethlehem in the occupied West Bank, where holy Islamic books were set on fire and damage was reported inside the prayer space. Palestinian local officials and regional outlets blamed Israeli settlers, describing the attack as a break-in that left copies of the Qur'an burned or damaged, with additional harm to the interior and surrounding property. According to Palestinian reports, the incident took place on Sunday night, February 8th. Accounts circulating in Palestinian media said carpets were stolen and electrical wiring was cut, adding to the sense that this was not only an act of vandalism, but also a deliberate attempt to disrupt a place of worship. No injuries were reported. Israeli media, citing police, said officers from the Etzion station and border police were deployed, and that an investigation is underway. In those reports, police described the site as an abandoned mosque while still acknowledging damage and an attempted arson involving holy books. Palestinian accounts dispute that description, saying the mosque was furnished and connected to electricity and presenting it as an active worship site serving local residents. For Palestinians in the Bethlehem area, the attack has resonated far beyond the physical damage. Community concerns have focused on safety, the vulnerability of religious spaces, and whether those responsible will be identified and held accountable. For many Muslims, desecration of a mosque and the burning of Islamic holy texts are deeply painful acts that strike at the dignity of a community as well as its right to worship without fear. The incident also comes amid wider warnings from the United Nations and humanitarian monitors about protection risks facing Palestinian civilians in parts of the West Bank. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has reported an ongoing rise in displacement, tied to factors that include settler violence and access restrictions. Rights groups and humanitarian agencies have repeatedly argued that attacks on Palestinian property, particularly in rural areas, contribute to a climate of insecurity and coercive pressure that can push families to leave their homes. At the same time, this latest case is unfolding alongside growing international scrutiny of Israeli policy moves related to the West Bank. In recent days, major outlets have reported on Israeli cabinet measures that critics say expand Israeli authority and make it easier for settlers to acquire land. Palestinians and several regional governments have condemned such steps as entrenching control on the ground, while Israeli leaders and pro-settlement voices portray them as governance or security measures. What remains clear in the Mosque case is that the core facts are still being investigated. Police say they are looking for suspects, and Palestinian officials say they believe settlers were responsible. Israeli reporting includes the disputed claim that the mosque was abandoned, while Palestinian reporting strongly contests that. As the investigation continues, Palestinians in the area are watching closely for whether this case results in arrests and prosecution, or whether it becomes another unresolved incident in a pattern of attacks that communities say has become increasingly common. The story at its heart is about a place of worship and a community's sense of safety. For Muslims in Palestine and for many watching abroad, it also raises urgent questions about accountability, equal protection under the law, and the safeguarding of religious sites amid a tense and often volatile environment.